Most of the Thomas fandom has unanimously agreed that there are 3 different canons in the entirety of the Thomas franchise. That being the Railway series, the Model series, and the CGI series. And I don't know about you, but no part of me is counting All Engines Go as even something that's related to Thomas, but that's a story for another day. There are many different reasons why people conclude that there are 3 different canons instead of all the canons being linked up or just recreations of each other. It could be as far as character appearances, dates, times, or paintworks and shapes of different characters. And that last one is something I'd like to get into. Henry supporting his new shape rather than his old shape is the leading cause to why people believe that there are 2 and 3 separate canons in the entire series. Even though there are some pretty good points on why there are 3 different canons, I don't think that Henry's shape should be one of them. And honestly, I'm about to debunk that whole thing just by explaining animation budgets. And for those that don't know, animation requires a lot of time and money to make. A lot of money is put towards these animations to make them look and appear more lifelike or have better overall quality. Higher the budget, the better the animation. And continuing with that, CGI animation and 2D animation are 2 completely different things. In 2D animation, it's a lot easier to get a character to bend and misshapen themselves for the comedic effect or whatever story have you, but 3D animation is not that simple. Most 3D animation studios create their own models, rig them up, and bend them and move them however they like. But as for Thomas, you know that their animation studios have changed from Nitrogen to Arc to Jam-Filled. I'm going to assume that Nitrogen Studios first created the initial character models used in the show, and when first passed over to Arc Productions, they had access to 3D models but didn't have access to change or distort the way they look. Nitrogen models pretty much stayed the same throughout their 4-season run, but I'm assuming when passed over to Arc Productions, they ran about 2 seasons where the models still looked exactly the same. After 2 successful movies and seasons, I'm assuming they got enough money to be able to upgrade their overall animation quality. Thus, the adventure began having overall better lighting and better sound effects and better everything, honestly. Better lighting and direction did come at a price, which was using more money from the animation budget, which I'm assuming meant that they couldn't change the physical renders of the characters, resulting in Henry being in his new shape rather than his old shape. Oh, and side note, I also believe that Henry's supposed to be in his old shape throughout the movie, mainly because of the way the camera kept his appearance hidden until his debut near the shed scene. Also, another side note, while recording this, I just decided to, put this in here. There's no way in hell that Henry wasn't supposed to have this cool, awesome new appearance for the movie based on the way that these camera angles are showing him, because they did the exact same thing for Thomas showing off his green paint and for James showing off his black paint. They didn't do that for Gordon or Edward because they look exactly the same as they did in present day. Not present day, but you know what I'm talking about.
Period.
At the climax of the movie, James has a terrible crash, which derails him along with his entire goods train and leaves him pretty banged up. And you're probably thinking, why did a crash like that only left James with a couple of scratches and grass blood all over his body rather than a bent up, broken buffer beam and dented boiler like he does in the season following, or later seasons, or heck, later movies? Because, dude, the movie after this one, Thomas is destroyed when he goes down a cavern, and James derails himself and crashes in a similar style, and his buffer beam is ripped apart. And you're probably asking yourself, but if they couldn't change the physical models of Henry, why could they give Thomas a green paintwork or James a black coat? Then I can answer that one. It's apparently a lot easier to change the color of a character rather than changing their physical makeup because they've done it before. They've done it in Nitrogen episodes, they've done it in episodes before this, and they've done it in any episode before and after the adventure begins when a character becomes dirty. Yeah, sure. They changed a lot about the canon to fit the narrative of the story and the adventure begins, but that's honestly forgivable. But saying that Henry is one of the main causes because he's in his new shape rather than his old shape, that doesn't work with me at all. I don't know. I don't think they forgot. And for them to go on and add clips of the Railway series illustrations in the credits and have so many references to the old series and all that, it's just, I don't know. They didn't do that on purpose. They probably just didn't have the money to do so. And it's quite clear they had money for later movies because they made a whole lot of new renders for international characters that they then used to animate future movies and episodes that, you know, nobody likes. And also the things they did to Thomas in The Great Race. God damn. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been another Thomas Hot Take, and I'd like to say that hopefully my next video is gonna be a build video. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know exactly who that is. So if I were you, I'd stay tuned. I'd stay tuned because I'm excited for it, and I want to hope that you guys are too. So let me know if you guys want to see that, and yeah, like, subscribe, stay tuned. Big things coming.